Hi, I'm just making a little video for you all just to walk you through the updates to our unit planners on SEQTA. There have been some really positive changes in SEQTA for those of us who have grappled a fair bit with those tables, where we consistently have deleted a lot of our planning and have been unable to retrieve it. That has now completely gone, and we have a really logical step-by-step approach to planning now, which complements the approach you want to take to unit planning. So obviously we gather together in our collaborative teams and we work through our circular planner. And once we've done that, we need to update our actual MYP unit planner on SEQTA. So I'm just using Jess Nielsen as an example at the moment. Sorry, Jess. You come to your timetable, click the centre bar like usual, opens up your program, come along to the unit planner tab. If you'd like to start a new unit planner, you just click the new unit planner tab, little button down over on the side there. However, for this I've just made a little unit planner example for you all. You come along to the template and you'll see here that there are multiple templates. We have a Good Job Lutheran College Christian Studies template that complements the CSCF document. We have a community project template that has its whole different inquiry cycle. We have an arts unit planner template that follows the arts cycle, a design unit planner template that follows a design cycle, an IDU unit planner template that follows the interdisciplinary unit planner, and then we have a GSLC MYP unit planner template for every other subject to use. So if you're an arts and design teacher, please use the arts and design unit planner templates as necessary. So what you do is you come along here, and like always we add our concepts. So we have here our key concepts are the ones with the yellow and the silver and the grey star at the side, and our related concepts are the ones with the yellow text and the grey background. We add our objectives, and so for this example we'll just use a PE sample. You come here to your 2014-2015 MYP International Baccalaureate. That simply means that it's the objectives from the MYP next chapter. Click on the year level, so year 3, year 7, year 8. You add the objectives. Ideally, when it comes to unit planner, we'll have at least 2 or 3 objectives addressed within that particular unit planner. Simply add it there. You come along here and you add your global context and your area of exploration. You add your statement of inquiry in this section. Then our factual, conceptual and debatable questions. To help you write these questions or reflect on how your current questions are, you can actually click on the little question mark on the side here and it comes up with prompts. So there's prompts for conceptual questions as well, and there's prompts for the debatable questions, and they're for you as well. So the next row is our approaches to learning. To make this quite an easy process, I've added once again that prompt with the actual page and principles into practice, where you can find the information for the IB school category and the MYP school cluster. I've popped these in here so you can actually just copy and paste the actual headings to make it an easy process for you. Then obviously you'll need to add the strands as your collaborative planning has determined. And you come to this box here and you actually write in 1 to 2 sentences how you're going to explicitly teach the ATL skill that you've chosen for this inquiry unit. Everything is those little prompts at the side for you there. Our next part is we actually add the MYP objectives that we are assessing in the summative assessment task. Obviously I'm using criteria A and criteria B here, so I'll simply pop criteria A and criteria B in this section. Describe the assessment task. I've added prompts here to make sure that our assessment tasks are following that broad, open-ended, inquiry-based, very rigorous nature that the MYP requires. And then here we link it back to our statement of inquiry, which is up in here, to ensure that our task is not just content-driven, it's actually concept-driven. So we need to articulate in 1 to 2 sentences how our task allows students to explore that statement of inquiry. We then come here and we pop our Australian curriculum content in. Your LACs will have ready for you by week 0 the skills and content, scope and sequence for every single subject area. This is simply cut and pasted and popped in this section here. This will all be determined via week 0 collaborative planning. A lot of us have already got that sorted, and so we can sort of just begin to go as necessary. And then we come here to our learner profile focus. In most of our self-studies that we completed this year, we found that learner profile articulation was one of our weaker points. So I've added it into our MYP unit planner to make sure it's just a constant reminder at the start of a unit, and it's also something we can actually see and refer to consistently throughout the actual inquiry process. Once again here, there's a little question mark. All you do is you choose 1 to 2 learner profile attributes that your students will be encouraged to strive to be throughout the process of this MYP inquiry unit. I'll show you an example at the end of what this can look like. The next part here is our inquiry cycle. So we used to have those 4 columns that we'd actually have to embed into these boxes, but they were forever disappearing on us. So now all we need to do is simply copy and paste, or for those of us who are planning from scratch, type in what we're teaching and how we're going to be teaching it within this section. Once again, that little question mark prompt, there's questions we can ask, and what we can plan for students to do in tuning in, our role within tuning in, questions we can ask within the tuning in process, types of learning experiences within tuning in. There's a whole variety of possible thinking strategies and tools to employ within tuning in as well. All of the resources in this section come from Kath Murdoch's book, The Power of Inquiry, as well as work from Lynn Erickson, a concept-based curriculum, our very own principles into practice, and our subject guides. So it's a compilation of lots of different resources to help us in each section of our inquiry cycle. We then come obviously along to our next column, so we've got what we're teaching and how we're teaching, and then here it's obviously how we'll know they've learned, our students have learnt, questions we can ask ourselves as we plan for formative assessment, then differentiation, some tools that we can use for differentiation. Marie and I have looked at this together, and she's really happy with some of the elements here that we can use to differentiate in our unit planners, so please use those as a source of support and guidance for you. We then come down to our resources section, where we add the resources for this particular MYP unit planner. And obviously within an IB school, academic honesty is of utmost importance. So please just make sure we adhere to academic honesty requirements, and that we add a bibliography, and that we list the references for our sources and give credit where credit is due, so we can be modelling that to our students in our own planning as well. And obviously reflection is a significant part of all planning, teaching and assessing within the MYP. There's reflection prior to teaching, reflection during teaching, reflection after teaching. Once again, questions that can guide your reflection in the prompts, and because there's multiple ones of us, so for example for Year 8 next year there are 4 Year 8 English teachers, myself, Paolo, Kieran and Kerry. Therefore as we reflect, if we could just add our initials at the bottom and the date that we've actually added that reflection into the unit planner. Just to show you a final copy, so if we come to just to one of mine, we've just finished updating, or Jack's just finished updating the entire language and literature unit planner for next year, which is fantastic. Click on the unit planner at the top, we come down to our poetry unit planner. You'll see here that all that we've planned prior has been added to the different unit planners that we've got here. We've added our learner profile focus. We're going to focus on being principled, and the very nature of poetry is often being principled and speaking our truth. We've added all our different sections, and we've added our reflections, our 2016 reflections as well. It prints out really nicely if you're someone who likes to have a hard copy. Simply click that little print button, make sure you only click the individual unit planner, or it will take some time to update them all. And print them all. And this is what the final copy looks like. It's quite a nice logical process which clearly has all that you need for engaging students in inquiry. If you have any questions, please just ask your learning area coordinator. By the end of week 0, it is our hope that we have the majority of our unit planners up in SEQTA in this template, ready to go for 2017. And obviously we can adjust it and change it as the students direct the inquiry as well. Thank you and happy planning!